Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. You know what we do here. Now, also, the same mistakes happen year in, year out, week in, week out, and we just point them out in one game. Now we do it again. Here's a guy running with his arm up. We know that means in the Premier League, in about 5 seconds, the other team is going to score a goal, and that's exactly what's happening. Now, I was just praising in the last game about defenders closing down properly, Ipswich doing the right job, getting to the ball, stopping things happening. And you can see right now, Wolves are not doing that. You've got a player running here, telling somebody what to do. Now, I don't know if you've played or coached as much as I have all over the world. One of the worst things you could ever do to me as a player is tell me I've got time. You tell me I've got time on the ball, I am just going to lose the football. It doesn't matter. Still do it to this day. Just let me play the game. I don't expect to have time. I expect to play the game properly. The minute you say those words in my head, for some reason, I lose the football. And you can see right now, this guy's running down here. He knows he needs to get out tight to this player here, and he doesn't. He just lets him have all the time and space in the world. In he comes, still yelling and screaming, get out there. Now, honestly, he needs to be so much faster. Look at the distance that he's allowing here for, I think it's Saka, to just pick a pass and do what he wants. This is atrocious defending. It doesn't matter if this guy's right, telling him to get out there and do the job. It's the fact that he's doing it, right? And watch what ends up happening. As we move this forward, watch this, and then they almost both do nothing because no one is close enough to pressure the ball, get close enough, or put any sort of pressure on this cross whatsoever. This is shocking. This is the Premier League. You have to be out and close that player. Look at how much space he's got to whip this ball in. I don't know what this guy's thinking here at left back. I've got no idea. If you're going to let any player in the Premier League have this much time and space and allow runners into the box, they're going to score goals. It doesn't matter if it's Arsenal, it doesn't matter if it's Fulham, West Ham. You pick a team, give a player out here all the time and space in the world to pick out a man, pick out a run, and they will score goals. And that's exactly what happens here. In he goes, boshes the ball over, simple, into the net box. Just because of poor defending, not going to the ball. It's not complicated. It's very, very simple, easy stuff. There's no reason for him not to go to the ball. Let's just go back for a second. I want to show you a couple other little points about it. Right, so here we are. It's not like this guy has got... There's an overlapping run. There's no one else over here for him to worry about. It's just 1v1. He needs to be out here and make this guy's life a misery. Make him do something. He doesn't even get close. There's no player running in behind him. There's actually no Arsenal player. If we just do a little bad line. Yeah, we'll do a bad line. Anywhere near this guy. It's just these two. And he just goes, nah, he'll be all right. I'm amazing at the football. Mate, you're not. You needed to get out there and close that ball down. Doesn't do it. Yeah, let's get on to the next goal. Before we get on to the next goal, in true Cash fashion, I want to show you this other little clip here. Now, passing patterns and playing the ball out of the back can be a massive problem if you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of these players really don't. So when this ball comes out here, you can watch this kiddie here. He's just playing his normal pass, but there's nobody here. This is what's called like a trigger mechanism, where he's in danger and he doesn't really have the fortitude to put his foot on the ball, make a little wee turn and trying to see what's going on. He doesn't really have a shout from a teammate because all he needs to do is put his foot on it, turn, and he can play the ball. But he doesn't. What he does is he just goes, donk, that's where I pass the ball normally. Oh my God, there's nobody there. You're going to see this more and more in the Premier League, and I'll tell you why you're going to see this more and more. Coaches go and they have these passing patterns, and they coach these things and these programs, and they go through the structure and these phases of play, but they don't actually teach the player how to play football. So what ends up happening is it always works well, and when everyone's in their shape and formation and everyone's doing the right thing, but all of a sudden when one person isn't there and someone isn't doing the right thing, it breaks down. And that's what you see right here in this clip. He doesn't do the right thing, he doesn't take a touch, he doesn't know what's going on, he just plays the passing pattern, and all of a sudden they're in. Oh, they mess up, but you know what? I promise you're going to see more of this season. Let me tell you a little bit more about why I know this is going to happen. I've coached for so long, and I'd say probably about 15 years ago, there was a lot of coaches that were doing patterns of play and all sorts of weird things. And you could just beat them. You could always just beat them because none of their players knew how to play football. As soon as you interrupted that by having one player stand in a certain position where they're going to pass the ball in their defensive midfielder, you put one player in front of the defensive midfielder and your striker, your striker in front of him and one player behind him. They didn't know what to do because the person that dictated the passing of the ball couldn't do it. The whole team broke down and everything collapses. And that's what is about to happen in the Premier League because everyone is doing this instead of going, right, you need to learn how to play football. And what we mean by that is when you're in a scenario, you pass the ball left, right, wherever it means to be because you can play football. You can identify the situation, see what you can do, and then you pass the ball. What you want to do is play into the passing pattern or the system that you're trying to do. However, if that isn't on, you must be able to play football, identify it, and then play better. These guys can't do that. You're going to see it more and more. All of those, creative or identifying how to play football is getting coached out of the game because coaches think they're smart and generally they're not. They're morons and they're going to do this more and more to players. And the smart coaches, if they teach their teams to play football, will roll over teams that stick to these little passing patterns out of the back and they'll be able to shut them down easier and easier and easier as they go on. Let's get on to the goal. This comes from a free kick taken down here. The ball ends up going wide to Saka and he just puts it into the net box. Shocker that you think Saka's going to run at you, cut inside and shoot and score. Have you ever seen him do that before? It's like saying, oh, Mo Salah's going to run at you, cut inside and look for that far post. That's exactly what happens here. But let's see what the defenders do to counteract it. Do they put pressure on the ball? Do they make Saka try to beat them with the ball? Or do they stand off him and give him the extra couple of yards that he really needs? Standing off, not getting close enough. What do you think's going to happen? Do you see the other defenders got slightly pulled away by this run here, which he really... You can't blame him for, okay? You go, okay, that makes sense. But the problem you've got is this guy has given him so much space. Look at how far away he is. That's probably 1, 2, maybe 3 steps away before he can actually touch the football. He's miles away in football terms. Absolutely miles away. Half a yard is miles away. He's a marathon away at this point because you're inside the 18-yard box. It's a little different further down the field, but inside the 18-yard box, that is just criminal defending. So what Saka does is what Saka does. Takes a ball, bosh, and then smashes it in the net box. What I want to show you, though, is Saka's little turn of how he makes the defender... Well, he doesn't have to be honest, because the defender's awful. How he shakes him, pushes him towards the byline, and then brings him back. Watch this guy's body shape here. He thinks Saka's going to go on down on the outside. We all know he's not. So basically, as soon as he starts, I want you to watch his body shape turn and watch him go this way. Watch. As he goes, donk. Do you see that? See his body shape there? He's put his weight on that foot there. As he's put his weight down on that foot, Saka's going to come inside and slot it in. It's that simple. It's that easy. Do you see how his whole body mechanics are wrong? He's got his feet facing this way, and for him to turn, he's turned so slowly and round the wrong way, and all of a sudden, it's a goal. Other than that, I have got Arsenal tip for the title. Got a cheeky bet on with a friend of mine. He's an Arsenal fan. Put down some money. I do think they'll win the league this year. I do think City will drop off. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.